Hey everyone, welcome back to the Doc Y Exchange. First, I owe you an apology for missing the last two episodes. Life happens, right? But I'm back and I'm really excited to dive into a topic that's close to my heart, especially because October is both Cybersecurity Awareness Month and Domestic Violence Month. So I know what you might be thinking, cybersecurity and domestic violence. How are those two related? But when you think about it, technology can play a huge role in someone's life, especially if they're trying to escape an abusive relationship or a situation. So today's episode will be all about that intersection and how to stay safe online if you're dealing with domestic violence or even just want to be more mindful of your online presence. Before we dive into the tips and resources, let's take a step back. I want to ask you, when was the last time you did a full audit of your online presence? Now, I am not talking about scrolling through your feed. I mean, checking your privacy settings, seeing who has access to your personal information, or even Googling yourself. I do that. I will Google myself and see what comes up. I even Google my children to see what comes up, just so I can see if anybody has taken their information and used it. I do it for my mom also. As someone who spends a lot of time on the internet, I can though say that I'm guilty of not doing it as often as I really should in order to keep up with bad actors. If you're in a situation where you feel unsafe or you're worried about someone tracking your movements online, doing an audit is even more important. In a little while, I'll share some practical steps you can take to protect yourself. But first, let's talk about the bigger picture. So, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're the survivor of domestic violence. You've left the situation. You're starting over, but your abuser is still trying to control you through your social media accounts, through your email, even through your location data on your phone. This is the reality for so many people, and it's terrifying. But there is hope. Technology can also be a tool for empowerment. So a lot of times we get bogged down in how it's negative or the thing or how it can be used for negative things, but there's a lot of positive. You can be empowered with it just as much as you can be oppressed by it. We have more control than we think we do over our devices and accounts. And that's where cybersecurity comes in. Let me give you an example. I heard about this woman who was being stalked through her phone because her ex had access to her iCloud account. Every time she moved, he knew exactly where she was. She finally changed her passwords, enabled two factor authentication, and took back control. She was empowered. Something as small as securing your account can be life changing. Okay, so now that we've set the stage, let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk about some practical cybersecurity tips. Whether you're a survivor of domestic violence or just someone who wants to be safer online, or even someone who knows someone that you might need to share some stuff with, these tips that I am about to share with you are for you. So, tip number one, do an annual social media audit. What's going on with your account? That means checking your privacy settings on all your platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, X, everything. Check them all. Make sure only people you actually trust can see your information. Also, see if there's anyone you need to unfriend, block, or restrict. They call me the queen of block. I will block you and I won't look bad. And I'm okay with that. Because for me, in the grand scheme of things, it's more important that my family and my friends that are in my inner circle that are directly connected to me, that we're all safe. It may sound harsh, but sometimes it's necessary for your own safety. A good rule of thumb to ask yourself is, do I trust this person with my location, my photos, or personal updates? Tip number two, avoid posting in real time. Everybody doesn't need to know what you're doing every second of the day. All right. That includes your family. If you're out and about, it's best not to tag your location or post while you're still there. Post when you get home. Just wait till you're in a safe place. You never, ever, ever, ever know who's watching. And it may not be someone who you were in a relationship with, but you never know who's watching or how they might use that information. Imagine if someone knows you're at a certain coffee shop every morning. It's easier for them to show up uninvited there or show up at your home when you're not home. All right, tip number three, turn on two-factor authentication. It's your best friend. This one is huge. And it helped me recently. Somebody was trying to get into my Amazon account. I have two-factor authentication on. So it kept sending me alerts saying something was going on. That extra step makes it harder for someone to get in your account, even if they do have your password. And if you get an authentication code out of the blue, that's a red flag. Someone may be trying to access your account. You need to go in and change your passwords. Tip number four, be mindful of public Wi Fi. All right. Now, we've all been guilty of just hopping on a public Wi Fi at a cafe, airport, hotel. Sometimes it's unavoidable. But here's the thing, public Wi Fi is not secure and it's not safe. If you can, invest in a VPN or a virtual private network. A VPN encrypts your data and keeps your browsing private, which is especially important if you're the survivor of domestic violence and you're trying to stay under the radar. Okay? So you got that? We've got 4 steps, 4 tips. The first one again, do an annual social media audit. Then number two, avoid posting in real time. Number three, use that two-factor authentication. She's there as your best friend. And then number four, be mindful of public Wi-Fi. Use a VPN if you can. So now let's talk about something a little closer to home. Your home network. We lock our doors, we lock our windows. Well, most of us do. But we don't necessarily think about securing our Wi-Fi. I've noticed that a lot. If you have a router, make sure it's set up properly. That means using a strong password and enabling network level protection like automatic updates and device quarantine. Now, when I was living, I think um, back in Texas, one of the things that I was told was that when they distribute those routers, and things might have changed since then, but the generic numbers and passwords and stuff like that, they're set that way with multiple people. You are supposed to go in and change that information to be individual and personalized to you so that others can't get into your network. So please, y'all, set those strong level passwords. Put on the network level protections that are embedded. Think of your router as the front door to your digital home. You wouldn't leave it wide open for anybody to walk in, so don't leave your network unprotected either. If you're sharing your Wi-Fi password with friends and family, make sure it's people you trust completely. I've seen the QR codes that people have in their homes where you can scan and get on the Wi-Fi. Think about it. If you have people coming in and out who are doing work in your home, um, visiting to bring you some information, but they're not a close personal friend, if you let them get on your Wi-Fi or they see your Wi-Fi QR code, they could easily scan and get into your network. You need to be very, very careful and make sure whoever gets on your network is someone that you trust completely. So, before we wrap up, I want to point you to some great resources for both domestic violence and cybersecurity. We need to check out websites like techsafety.org and the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I'm going to put the number up for the National Domestic Hotline. It's 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can text START to 88788. All right. Another great website that you can use is thehotline.org. You can chat with them there. They have some of these websites have amazing guides on how to stay safe online if you're in an abusive situation. And let me take a pause right here. If you are in an abusive situation, the fact that you are, the fact that you know that you are, gives you the opportunity to choose you, to take care of you. If you have others that depend and need you, have the opportunity to choose you. Reach out. There are people who are there for you. I beg you. There is no situation that you must stay in that would be detrimental to your mental, physical, spiritual, financial, sexual, religious, any part or aspect of you. None of you deserves abuse. You are valued. Get the support when you're ready. Okay? It's no time like today. So do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Some of those guides that I mentioned, they cover everything from securing your devices to what happens when you leave a digital footprint and how that can put you at risk. Another resource that you could utilize is the Safety Net Project, which focuses specifically on the intersection of technology and domestic violence. They have guides for everything from Wi Fi security to securing your email accounts. Because another way that you can get attacked is that if someone has access to your email account, they can send messages out posing as you to isolate you from those who you have connection with by sending messages that seem like you don't want to be in connection or community with people who provide safety and security for yourself. So please, y'all, be very, very careful. I'll include links in the show notes, so be sure to check them out. And remember, you're not in this alone. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or even an online community, there are people who want to help you stay safe. I'm one of those people. That's why I'm doing this show today. I've had many friends, I've experienced it. I don't want you to be in a situation where you are not or you're not safe. And I say you have to choose you, and you have to choose to be safe. And you're the only one that can decide when enough is enough. But when enough is enough, you have friends, you have family, you have an online community. Reach out. So there you have it. Today I've covered some heavy stuff, but it's really, really, really important. Cybersecurity is something that affects all of us, but it's especially critical to those dealing with domestic violence. The internet doesn't have to be a scary place. And with the right tools, you can take back control. Before I sign off, I want to say thanks for sticking with me, especially after missing the last two episodes. I appreciate every one of you, and I'm excited for what's to come in the next few weeks. Next week is the student spotlight, so don't forget to share this episode with someone who might need it and let me know your thoughts in the comments or on social media. And then come back next week to see what my students have to say, see what's on their mind. So, in the meantime, stay safe out there. Protect your peace, protect your space, and I'll catch you the next time on the flip side, right here on the Doc Y Exchange.